Oh, let's see. And we're live. Tap in people's heart. Boom. Hello. Welcome to Shazabu Kickoff Show. That's Derek. There's Sharpie. That's Tom Bomb. We are here to talk the men and only the men this week. We are missing the women's team though. I kind of miss doing this like 2 days, but it is a nice little like break. So this is nice. But how are you guys doing? Sharpie, let's start with you. You got the sun shining on you. How's that? That's nice.
Oh, it's another beautiful day in LA. Looking at highs of 75 today. It's about 62 right now. Not a cloud in the sky. Um, Perfect day for Man City to get 3 points.
Here to that. As a matter of fact, let me let a little bit of sunlight in my house. It's a little bit dark in here.
Yeah, we had really nice weather this whole week. It was like 70s, 80s, and today is that day where it starts to plummet. So we're not quite at nice weather. It gave us a little taste. We'll have like a week of bad weather, and then it'll be back to hopefully beautiful to stay because I'm tired of gray. I'm so over it.
Yeah, I was going to wait for Sharpie to stop throwing shade and then be like, "Oh well, it's supposed to be high as 78 today. That's good golf weather when it's all said and done. When this game is over, we get this dubbed, and then I
Hey,
go out
let's
there on the golf
go.
course or something. Who knows? You're not the only one that gets good weather, Charlie.
Hey, y'all are here, man. Y'all deserve. Hey, we've been struggling here. We had more rain in the first 3 months of the year than Seattle, so I'm enjoying every single day of sunshine now.
Oh, I love it. Well, we are here to talk about Manchester City football. They are playing Leicester City. It's a home match. We know the fortress that the Etihad has become. And oh, first, new teams. Shout out to Segan for letting me know. People who are using the FanFest Live link, they can actually hit a button and request topics. So, good thing is most of these topics are what we would talk about anyway, but I'll make sure to fit in these topics. But if anyone who is using FanFest Live, or if you want to use it, the link is on our Twitter page. So go ahead and hit that and tap in with us.
So do we actually have some questions?
Yeah, the first one is, I mean, we
Sweet.
could start it. It's just overall on the title challenge. So yeah, that's why I figured we could say that to the end because that could end up going too long on accident. So our Manchester City lineup, I'm happy to see because I have something writing on this. Ederson at goal, Walker, Stones, Diaz, Laporte. I'm happy to see my boy Laporte. I might switch to my Laporte shirt after this stream just to give him a little extra love and support. Rodri, De Bruyne, Bernardo, Mahrez, Grealish, and Halan. Sharpie, I sent you, my bet, and you're like, I'm not sure if some people were going to get those chances. I guess, who were you talking about specifically? Was this lineup a surprise to you?
When you sent the bet, for those that don't know, it was about Holland, Grealish, and Kevin De Bruyne shots on goal. And so my thought was at least one of those three would get a break. But I'm assuming because Holland, well, Holland's Holland and he wants the record, and then De Bruyne like he got subbed off, so he didn't go a full 90. And Jackson's such good form on the left, he's kind of undroppable now. Like I feel like Pep just said, "Hey, let's run it back," and best case scenario, we get everybody out by the 65th, 70th minute. So your bet's looking good, man. I think we're gonna shoot it up today against Leicester.
I think I was surprised by the lack of squad rotation here. I mean, like from the last match, you only see three changes, and I know on the show that we recorded for Wednesday, we definitely talked about a totally different midfield, and hopefully like maybe getting players like Gomez or Palmer or uh,
Rico.
or Rico or no Gomez and
Yeah, yeah,
Phillips start. So just to not see them in is just kind of a little bit jarring. But I think Tarek made the point in our group chat that like we need the points. So
I
I
was gonna
guess
say,
you just kind of
y'all
roll
gonna
with it.
start listening to me, man. It was Pep is in a position where we are not going to lose. We cannot lose any more matches. We have to win them all. Not even draw. We can't drop points. We have to go in knowing we have to win every game. So I just believe, although we would probably like to see some rotation normally, and yes, we should be able to beat Leicester even with a rotated squad. I just think that there will be no chances taken. We will play a strong squad with minimal rotation here and there until, like Charlie said, if we put the game away 65th, 70th minute, then okay, then we'll rotate people out. But the key is walking out of here with the win. Nothing less. Nothing less is acceptable.
Run it up. That's all I feel about this. Sharpie.
yeah. As Terry was talking, I was thinking about how we're so spoiled by rotation because we're used to it, right? This is Pep's MO. Like you keep the squad fresh. You're using 15 to 17 players consistently. So for him to kind of go to a normal, traditional model of like, hey, I know my best 11, and I'm going to make these 2 to 3 tweaks, maybe. That's different for us because we are used to so many players coming in and out, especially in the run-in where you have 3 competitions going on like we do now. But I feel like it's a level of comfort that I have, even though I think Pep called it kind of boring. He was like, "Yeah, the opponent knows what we're doing," but it's like if you can't beat it, if you can't stop it, why change it? Like we are on a roll of like 25 scored and only like 6 conceded in our last like 7 matches or something crazy like that. So it's like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And yeah, I do. The reason why I made that bet for those people and I thought they were going to play is I said it on Twitter. I do think Alvarez starts on Wednesday. I know we have the lead, and some people may think that that's a maybe like a turning down the throttle, like backpedaling, but I think that's a great way to show we aren't scared, our flexibility, that we really do have a two-headed monster, and also rest people. I mean, I don't think the team's going to change too much, but I could see Halan resting, and worst case, he comes
So
on for like 20 minutes.
you think that Holland's not going to play or not going to start against Bayern in the Champions League?
No, I think
That's what you're
Halan could
saying?
just start all of the matches, but I'm just saying, I like if Alvarez starts on Wednesday, it wouldn't surprise me.
For me, I would be flabbergasted if that
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Now he might start
It'd be flabbergastic.
in place of somebody else, but he won't start in place of Holland. Now maybe we put him out on the right or we put him through the middle, and maybe we give De Bruyne a rest or something like that. Maybe, but Holland will be on the pitch. In my opinion. Now, it's just my opinion. You may be right. I don't know, but I would
Oh,
be dumbstruck if that happens.
I try not to even think that far, and like there's also a reason why I don't do those starting 11s. Some little run through of some stats I have before we get to Leicester. Leicester, oddly enough, if you look at the average age of the lineups, they are 2.4 years younger than us, and that is because their left wing back, Victor Christensen, he is 20, and that is going to be a very interesting matchup between him and Mahrez the God. Like it's going to be a tough day against him. Leicester's last win was against Tottenham 4-1 in February. It was late February though, so it's not as far as a distance that you could think. Is Dean Smith that guy? Everton, they lost. Southampton, they lost. If Leicester can somehow figure out a way to win, at least draw points, that would be a good step towards getting out of that relegation zone. Does Leicester stand a chance? Let's look at this lineup. They have Iverson at goal. Everson, sorry guys. I don't know who this person is, so that will be interesting. Castagni, so Yunchu. Why am I doing this? Sotar, Face, Christensen, Dewsbury Hall, Tillmans, Ndidi, Madison, and Vardy. Vardy isn't the man who he used to be, but I mean, what is the stat? He has scored the most goals against Pep, like in the Premier League. No other Premier League striker has scored the most goals against Pep. There we go. And Madison, he turns up. Ndidi, Tielemans, you kind of always know what you're going to get away from them. FaZe, he had that double own goal match that was a while ago. Recently, according to SofaScore, all of his matches have been over at least 7.2, and 2 of his last 5 have been a 7.8 rating. So he seems to have maybe straightened out his ship. But like I said, Mahrez against that young boy, it's going to be interesting. Tarek, what are your thoughts on Leicester and their potential of harming us?
So, we had a big conversation on Twitter about typical City, right? And so I go into most matches probably somewhat cautiously. When we were recording, talking about what the outcome of this game would be, there were some pretty big scores. I had the lowest, I think. So when I think about Leicester, I'm just always slightly nervous because I have vivid memories of Vardy hitting us on the break, and it's like they get 1 shot, 2 shots, and they scored 1 or 2 goals
That
and they
was
win
3
matches.
years
Right?
ago. That was 4 years
You're
ago.
right, and you're absolutely right. But it still is a haunting memory in my mind, and so when I see this match, it makes me somewhat slightly nervous. Vardy isn't the same player that he was back in the day, but I think so he won't be able to consistently across the course of the entire match impact it. But I think in moments, he will be threatening. I think we should win, but again, it does make me nervous. Most of these players, a lot of them, I'm not going to say I know them very well. So it's neither here nor there. I'm always, the person that hates to see former City players come back and play against us. So I imagine in the
Who you
second
talking
half,
about?
once Vardy goes off, there'll be a Kelechi Iheanacho sighting, and of course, that will. I won't say I'll strike fear because I'm not afraid of him by any stretch, but I just hate to see him on the pitch. So that is that. I think we should win, but it won't be without its moments that'll be tricky. Let's say it that way.
Kelechi Iheanacho.
Beep, 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 beep. Y'all hear that? That's Dean Smith and Leicester parking the bus right now. Like right now. I think Thought Mob has them set up in a 3-5-1-1. So like their only prayer is to hit us on the break. And I'm with Kyle Walker being on the pitch. I'm not afraid of Jamie Vardy's pace necessarily. And I think that the combination of Stones and Rodri can handle whatever threat Madison is going to give us on the counter as well. So this is going to be a bigger test than maybe playing Brendan Rodgers' Leicester will be, just because they are going to sit so far back and defend. But I'm still confident in my 4-1 scoreline prediction.
Oh, sorry. I just saw a notification that Spurs lost at the death to Bournemouth, which is wonderful. I foresee a very similar match as Thomason with the bus, but Leicester, I think they really miss Harvey Barnes. If you had the trio of Barnes, Vardy, and Madison on the pitch, if Barnes is fit, I don't think he goes to the back 5. But even still, like even Barnes as a wingback could be, deafening, like frightening. He's really good. I was surprised that he didn't do kind of like a 3-5-2 and have Daka and Iheanacho together up top, which would put a lot of pressure on our back three. So by only putting Vardy up top, it's 9-10 behind. It's 9 behind the ball, praying for a Madison release. But you know, like we talked about, that young boy, he's about to get baptized today. I'm not sure if he's Christian or if he's been baptized yet, but he's about to find a new religion. And I know Mahrez is, Ramadan mode, but like, yeah, he's about to go. He's gonna need all the protection today. Because that overlap of like Mahrez and KDB, it puts the best left back in hell. So to be 20 years old and you got to deal with that, God bless you, man. Just God bless. That's all I got.
That is a lot of pressure, though. That is a lot of pressure. Because
what do you do?
When I saw the age difference, I thought it would be maybe similar, but yeah, it's really just him, his youthfulness, because everybody else is like 25, 26, 27, and then you have old man Vardy. So I guess, but it's going to be interesting. Let's, Tom, you're sticking with the 4-1. I said 6 because I love the drop. I don't have that right here, but I'm sticking to my guns. I don't care what they do. You can hold everybody back all you want. Once we start beating you guys down, they're going to want to try to do something. That's going to fail miserably. We're going to score off of that. And then they're just going to be running in circles. And Dean Smith, I forgot his name. I had to like look at my notes real quick again. He's just going to be just on his, just holding his knees to his chest and just rocking by the end of the 90 minutes because the crowd's going to be rocking. It's going to be a scary time for him. So good luck. Yeah.
Can I throw a shout to Jack Grealish real quick?
Oh, always. We always got time for Pumaguchi.
Because he's going up against his former manager. And I think, not that it's added motivation, but it's always nice, show him what he lost. And Gucci's been in great form. He's had a goal contribution in the last few matches. I could definitely see one of those table setters where he lost it up for Haaland. I could see maybe he gets that shot on target, Crunk, trying to cut in. I think it gets saved by 31. He's no Allen Iverson, but that white man, he'll do his best. And so, yeah, I don't see – I'm trying to think of a way where, like, oh, my God, they scare us. But when you go from playing Bayern Munich to Leicester City, if you can beat Bayern Munich 3-0, the minimum score should be 3-0 against Leicester City. Like, I don't care if they sit 11 deep.
But it's not about the name on the front of the jersey, right? It's about how they're going to set up. And so Bayern was going to try to go toe-to-toe with us. Bayern's not afraid of us. Bayern is going to try to go toe-to-toe. Leicester knows coming in they can't do that. If they do that, it does become a 6, 7, 8. So they already know all they can hope for is to play tight defense, keep it tight, keep the compact, and hit us on a break, which is going to be completely different than what Bayern tried to do. So we have to be able to prove that we can break down, 6, 7 across the back, because that's what it's going to end up being. It's going to be at minimum 5 across the back, with probably Tielemans and Ndidi dropping in as well. It's going to be they're going to just camp out, much like a Mourinho type squad. They're going to camp out and hope for and pray for the best. And so I think we should break them down, which is why I said that we'll end up winning 3-0. But I don't know that it will. I think it's going to take a little time unless we score early. If we score early, which we try to do, if we do get a big early, then all bets are off, and then we're off to the races. But the longer it stays 0-0, the more the players are going to get frustrated, the more the fans are going to get frustrated, and just the whole atmosphere is going to change. So I hope and pray, of course, that we go out and we smack them. But for me, 3 is probably the most we're going to see. And again, they're playing defensively. Their last 5 matches, I think Chelsea put 3 on them, but it's mostly 1-0 or 2-1 type of thing. Even the Chelsea match, it was 3-1. So it's a 2-goal difference. They don't typically give up a bunch of goals. Now, again, we have the ability to do that to them, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 2-3-0 type of a match.
No, I feel that. Okay, so let's look at the title picture. Um, is there a chance West Ham sort of remembers who they were at the beginning of the season and just pull out a draw? Like, just get a goal, lock down tight, figure things out. Is there a chance? Is there a chance?
I think there's a chance. I'll give it a 25% chance that they can get a draw.
I'll take
Like, I
it.
fully expect Arsenal to win. Like, I don't think this is the
Yes.
run of games where they drop points. But I believe the game is at London Stadium. So home crowd is in a whip. They just had a really good midweek performance. I know it was a draw, but they look pretty good. So I foresee a tough game for Arsenal. I don't think they win 3-4-5-0. And just that pressure. This is different now, especially because we go first. And you saw what happened last week. It's all new for them. If you're not Gabby Jesus or Zinchenko, you've never felt what it's like to be in a run-in like this. And Mikel, he's never done it as the manager. He was the number 2 when we did it. So until you get in a moment, we saw Xhaka lose his head last week. Obviously, Liverpool has more attacking talent than West Ham, but it's the same formula. Home team, desperate, trying to get points. They make it tough.
West Ham is such a weird team to predict. Like they're so up and down. They can, beat a team like Fulham, or they can lose to Southampton. So I don't really know necessarily how that match is going to play out tomorrow. But I think the biggest thing is for us is just to go out and handle our business and set that tone, because we, just to Charlie's point, we do play first. So put that pressure on them and just make them feel uncomfortable. So then they know that there's only 3 points that separates them between us, and then like we're still going to have that game in hand on them. So um, make them feel that pressure, I guess, just so control what we can control.
Yeah, I think you go in expecting them to win, and all you can do is put the pressure on them. I think everybody's already said it, right? We put the pressure on and just hope for the best. I don't anticipate West Ham winning. I won't ever get my hopes up. Even if they go up in the game, I won't get my hopes up until it's that whistle is blown. But here's hoping that Moyes can do us a solid. But I fully expect Arsenal to win pretty much all of their games except for the match when we play them. We have to beat them.
Mm. All right. Well, I guess final thoughts before we get out of here and start cheering on our football squad.
4-0 City, baby.
I would say that. I would say that the only way that I feel like Leicester's going to be dangerous against us is if we do cutesy little counters and then get caught out, because Vardy and Madison still do have that pace to catch us out on the break on a poor corner from us. And I think we've seen that in the last couple matches that we haven't necessarily been sharp on some of those corners that we try to do too cutesy stuff. So I think this will probably be the match where we need to make sure that all of our corners are direct and into the 6. So there's not that like, oh crap, like here comes Vardy one-on-one against Walker. Not that like that necessarily, like I like that matchup, but like if we don't have to see it, let's not.
Recording this week, we brought up the idea of, would City go in for Madison? And I was pretty much on there's no way that I would bring him in camp. But so I hope to be proven right today. I hope that we see that Madison is not up to the quality that we would expect for our squad. And I hope that our defense, which has been in amazing form. So we didn't really go into too much detail on the lineup. The only thing that I'm super glad that Laporte is getting a chance. I think he needs to get an opportunity to play. But not having Ake on the pitch, it's like, oh man, we're going to miss the solidness that he brings, which at the start of this season, if you said Ake was going to be the defender that we were going to be like, he has to be on the pitch in order for us to look the way that we have, I don't think most people would have agreed with that. I think most people would have been like, there's no way. He thought I was crazy. So yes, Diaz, of course, is great. I think having Laporte with that left foot is going to be awesome today. But not having Ake defensively is going to be a miss. And so I'm hoping that Laporte steps up to the plate. So we'll see.
Here, here. All right. Well, appreciate everyone for viewing in, being here, joining us. Tom, Sharpie, Tarek, as always, I appreciate y'all for spending your time with me. And we will see y'all when we drop the next Shades of Blue episode. Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll see how things go. But we will see you soon. We appreciate y'all. Let's go, City.
Come on, City.
Sit